Denver International Airport. Conspiracy theories. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Know How, the show where we explore all kinds of stuff. And today we are exploring some pretty interesting things. These are supposed conspiracy theories about Denver International Airport, which, as you can imagine, is the international airport for the city of Denver in USA. There are a lot of conspiracy theories surrounding this place. Some say it's a government building, some say it's hiding secrets from us. What are these secrets and what is the actual reason behind them? Well, that's what we're going to look at today. So let's begin. Introduction. On the surface, Denver International Airport seems like any other modern airport. It's new, it's clean, it's big, and it's modern. But some investigators have found more to it than meets the eye. Claims exist that Denver International was designed and built by the Illuminati as the headquarters for a global genocide that will trigger the New World Order. Let's see if these claims are true. These are all the conspiracies. Denver already had a fine airport, Stapleton International, which you can see in the picture over there. But despite widespread protests, Denver International was built and opened in 1995 with fewer runways, thus reducing Denver's capacity. You'd expect a brand new airport to increase the capacity of a city, but this is the opposite. Its construction began with 5 mysterious buildings that were completed and then buried intact, with the cover story that they were built wrong, apparently. Up to 8 levels of underground facilities are said to exist, and workers who go there refuse to answer questions about what they do. The entire airport is surrounded by a barbed wire guard fence, fairly normal, with the barbed wire angled inward to keep people in, like a giant prison, not out like at other airports. And if viewed from the air, the runways are revealed to be laid out in the shape of a Nazi swastika. Questions about what the government might be doing in this underground base may have been answered in 2007, when 14 commercial aircraft reported spontaneously shattered windshields as the presumed result of electromagnetic pulses. If you want to see a separate video about these 14 aircraft spontaneously breaking their windows, do let me know down in the comments. And there's more. The Illuminati appear to have detailed their plans for global genocide and a new world order in 2 large murals. The first depicts a huge Nazi soldier with dead women and children scattered around him, and the second one shows the third world populations dying, a few elite species protected from the apocalypse in sealed containers, and the Maya symbol for 2012 presiding all over it. You might remember the Maya symbol for 2012 from the huge hypothermic, hypocritic stuff that happened back in 2012, and people thought the world was going to end. In the floor near the murals is written AUAG, the abbreviation for the deadly toxin Australia antigen, evidently the Illuminati's weapon of choice to accomplish the genocide. On other places, strange words in an unknown, possibly alien language are written on the floors. Most telling of all is the granite monument that the airport claims is a time capsule. It's emblazoned with the symbol of the Freemasons, well known among conspiracy theorists to be a major arm of the Illuminati, and engraved with the words New World Airport Commission. And finally, the Queen of England, Elizabeth II, another alleged Illuminatus, that means she is a part of the Illuminati, has been secretly and anonymously buying up the property surrounding the airport. Now let's answer these theories. Was the old Stapleton International Airport truly adequate, and did it really have more capacity? Well, no. It was 65 years old, was a major noise nuisance being in the middle of the city, and at only three 10,000-foot runways, the minimum needed for large jets at such a high elevation, and barely adequate for fully loaded international jumbos. You can see here this is an old map of Stapleton International Airport, and you can definitely see how small and cramped it is compared to Denver today. Denver International has 6 runways all over 12,000 feet and one at 16,000 feet that can accommodate any jet in the world. Its location is clear of Denver, which alleviates the noise concerns too. The underground constructions, as anyone who has travelled through Denver knows, are for the underground train system that connects all the terminals, including additional tunneling built to accommodate future expansion. Other underground systems were built for Denver's state-of-the-art automated baggage handling system. Unfortunately, the system never worked well, and by 2005 it was retired completely, and now the underground tunnels are used for conventional baggage handling. Hundreds of workers go in and out of there every day, and none of them have ever reported seeing anything unusual. What about the large barbed wire prison area? Like those at all commercial airports in developed nations, Denver International's runways are fenced off with barbed wire. This is required by law for obvious safety reasons. Stories that the barbed wire is angled inward are simply untrue. People who have actually been there report that the barbed wire sticks straight up and is not angled either way. As for those broken windshields, it really did happen. It took the newspapers a little while to get the cause from the National Transportation Safety Board, and that period of uncertainty is when the rumors about electromagnetic weapons germinated. The NTSB confirmed what mechanics who had replaced the windshields were able to tell at a glance. The breaks were caused by flying debris during high winds. Whether the runways are laid out like a swastika seems to be a matter of opinion. It's easy to see on Google Earth, and it certainly does give the general impression of a swastika. If you select certain taxiways and runways, you can overlay a near perfect swastika. But to do so, you have to ignore every significant runways, including the biggest one. Runways are laid out with prevailing winds and have to be approved by safety agencies and pilot groups. So if a swastika is what works, a swastika is what they'll use. The swastika theory was bolstered by the Nazi-like figure in those artistic murals depicting supposedly the Illuminati's plans to reduce the Earth's population. They were made by Chicanaco artist Leo Tanguma, one of several artists commissioned to paint similar murals throughout Denver International. The Children of the World Dream of Peace shows a menacing Nazi-style soldier wreaking havoc and fear, and includes a poem written by an actual child who passed away at Auschwitz. Tanguma's other mural, In Peace and Harmony with Nature, shows the Earth suffering from exploitation and some species extinct and now only found behind museum glass, mistaken by the conspiracy theorists for elite species being protected from the apocalypse. The alleged Maya reference to 2012 is simply a small piece of carved stone with Maya-style decorations held by one figure in the mural and representing the decline of indigenous populations. But the conspiracy theorists have been told all this. They simply choose to regard it as untrue, in part because of the warning etched into the floor near Tanguma's murals that Australia antigen will be used in a genocide. Colorado is well known for its history of gold and silver mines, and so a minecart full of AU and AG is the most appropriate symbol for the state. Australia antigen is indeed sometimes abbreviated as AUAT, but its common abbreviation is HBsAg or hepatitis B antigen. By itself, it would not be much of a biological weapon. If we exposed everyone to Australia antigen, you would essentially just inoculate them against hepatitis B. An antigen is not a disease germ itself, It is simply any substance that provokes an immune response. By itself, it's harmless. A vaccine has existed for some time against hepatitis B, and many people have received it. Even if you haven't, hepatitis B is treatable and is rarely fatal, and so again, a pretty poor choice for a mechanism of global genocide. The other words in the floor, the alien language, are Navajo names for sacred mountains in Colorado. Once again, a significant part of the state's history. And then there's that granite 100-year-old time capsule bearing the symbol of the Freemasons on its capstone. Could there be any explanation other than Denver International being the headquarters of the Illuminati? Another explanation might be that the local Masonic lodge constructed and placed the time capsule. The Masons are a civic organization that often performs such services, and this has been a tradition at public buildings in the United States for a long time. Although you might choose to interpret this to mean that Denver International is some kind of government headquarters, you could also observe that these are just 3 examples of hundreds, if not thousands of public buildings in the country that follow this tradition. The New World Airport Commission mentioned on the capstone did exist, contrary to conspiracy claims that there is no record of such organization. The commission was a group of Denver business and civic leaders who sponsored and organized some of the events at the airport's opening, ushering in Denver as a new world-class city. You can say this is false, but all you've got to back that up is your own imagination. Perhaps the most entertaining of the conspiracy claims about Denver International Airport concerns the brass plate at the end of an artistic curved pedestal above the time capsule. The plate repeats the Mason symbol and has the rest of the text from the time capsule written in Braille. However, many conspiracy websites refer to this paragraph of Braille as a keypad. In all seriousness, some seem to believe that a code can be typed on this solid plate, which will either open the time capsule, permit attendance to the secret underground base, or perhaps even trigger the global genocide. Last but not the least, Queen Elizabeth II, the current royal monarch of Great Britain, is indeed a pretty substantial property investor, although it's really the royal crown in general and not her personally. Her own fortune is a few $100 million, but the majority of the crown's wealth is held in trust for the nation. This portion is somewhere north of $17 billion and includes property investments all around the world. Real estate near a new international airport is usually a sound investment for anyone, and such a purchase would be consistent with the Queen's other investments. So that was the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like, share and comment on the video. Share it with everyone you know, and do subscribe for more such content. So my name is Namit and you've been watching the Know How. And P.S. I found out that 82% of all of you who are watching my videos haven't subscribed, so please do subscribe for more such content, and I'll catch you next time.